Well, Bravo has released a new trailer for Making It in Manhattan, the Real Housewives spinoff show. We have a producer that's speaking out about the toxic world of reality TV. We have a Meghan Markle update because she's just launched her podcast, guys. I know you're on the edge of your seat with that one. And then the Russell Brand of it all, we're going to get into. I hope you're ready for it. Let's dive in. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. Piper, no. No. I know I had my thoughts and my comments about the White Lotus finale yesterday, but the more like I simmer on it, the more that it like digests, the more I'm like, that was one dumb finale. Um, like the Ratliff family, we got nothing out of that. I know people are trying to be like, oh, well, the three kids are the three monkeys, and hear no evil, see no evil, whatever. But like, and then the blender and drinking out of the dirty blender, and then I don't know, and the lost dad story that we got like no details about, and then the three friends that really like it was dumb. I'm sorry, it was dumb. I'm gonna say it was dumb. Like I know some people are gonna be like, oh, but I analyzed it and did it, and they're gonna write their whole little recap and write up and on it. It was a terrible finale. Okay, the season wasn't that great. I know Mike White came out and he's like, I'm just edging you all, blah 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 blah. No, sorry. Oh, sorry. No, I didn't give any spoilers. I just said that the finale was dumb. That was my. Those are my takeaways. Um. Yeah. So yeah. I don't not not that exciting for me. We'll talk about it more on the pop report tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And then, okay, so Bravo just released a new trailer for what was originally supposed to be called Making It in Manhattan, and now it's going to be called NextGen NYC. Do we care? Is kind of my thing. So new series comes out June 3rd. It's with a lot of the Real Housewives kids. We have Meredith Marks from Salt Lake City. Her son Brooks is in it. We have Kim Zolciak from Real Houses of Atlanta. Her daughter's in it. Candy Burris from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Her daughter Riley's in it. Who else? Gia, Teresa Giudice's daughter from Real Housewives of New Jersey. So we have a few of them. We have a motley crew of kids trying to make it in I was gonna say Hollywood, in New York. We have a trans cast member. Bravo's trying to check all the boxes. So, do we care about this show? To me, it didn't look that exciting. I hate to say that, but I don't like Brooks just looks boring, and Gia, we barely saw anything of Gia. We saw that we will get some cameos from Kim and Teresa and Candy and Meredith. Seems like Meredith is in it the most. The show really seems to center around Brooks a lot. Brooks was the most prominently featured in the trailer, which, I mean, are we that hooked by Brooks? I don't really understand. Don't care about what young people do in NYC. Been there, done that. I mean, yeah, done with spoiled kids. I mean, listen, that's not to say like I know people like hate. We're in this like hate nepotism era, but like I don't have an issue with nepotism. Listen, you're born into the family you're born into. You might as well jump at the advantages that you're given, play the cards that you're handed. But I just don't know if a bunch of young kids trying to make it in New York is that exciting. Like, I feel like it was kind of exciting. We liked it when it was here in LA, when it was West Hollywood, and it was Sir, and it was Lisa Vanderpump, and all these kids were trying to make it in Hollywood. But like, I don't know. There's nothing about Next Gen NYC that to me like told me what the show's really going to be about. Like, is this about a bunch of New York hustlers? They're all trying to make it. And like, I want to see like the young tech bros trying to make something, right? I want to see the young fashion brands that are trying to come forth, in the competitive, the cutthroat world of NYC. This just seems like a bunch of kids just running around town trying to have fun. And I don't know if they're trying to have fun. These kids aren't trying to make it. Yeah, I think that's my thing, Erica, is it doesn't feel like they're trying to really make it. It just kind of seems like they're young kids just bopping around. Like Rich Kids of Beverly Hills is kind of what it feels like, but in New York City. And the fact that they're calling it Next Gen NYC tells me that making it in Manhattan is not obviously not going to be the title, but it seems like this Next Gen series is probably what they're going to try to do moving forward. They're probably going to do NextGen Hollywood, NextGen Atlanta, NextGen Dallas. I don't know. Those are just my predictions, but I would imagine that they're going to keep this as a spinoff going forward. It sounds like MTV's The Real World. I actually disagree. I don't think it sounds like MTV's The Real World because my understanding is The Real World, like they had to live together on Real World, right? Why is Real World such a like tongue twister? Real World, MTV's Real World. I feel like my tongue just like, but so yeah, I feel like Real Worlds was more like them all living together, right? I haven't seen Real Worlds in forever. I don't know if it's changed. Okay. Okay, so that's Making in Manhattan. We also had this producer that he's come out and he wants to, I mean, I guess not come out of the closet, but he's coming out and he is upset with Bravo. I don't really know. But so he's now he gave this exclusive interview. His name is Patrick McDonald. He used to be a supervising producer for a number of different Real Housewives shows. Now he has pivoted outside of the Real Housewives world. And now he's doing adult content. He's doing I know we're not supposed to say the name because it's not YouTube friendly, but the OF, he's doing the OF stuff, what Denise Richards does. And so he's now claiming, and listen, he's very attractive, right? Cute guy, muscles, beefy, he feels a little thirsty, I'm not gonna lie. But so anyway, he came out and he's talking about how Bravo was such a toxic work environment. So I guess he did Real Housewives of Orange County, Vanderpump Rules, and so he was saying that they would have like 12-hour plus days, and they would work 6 days a week, 3 to 4 months at a time, and he was exhausted and overworked and burned out, and so he decided to, I guess, work out some of that energy and aggression on OF, and he decided that he was just going to release some of that tension there, and I guess as a result of that, his production companies found out. It seems like he was more of a contractor and not somebody that was like an employee of Bravo, which is typically how these production companies work. A lot of them are contracted out. But so I don't know. Everyone's like sharing his story and they're just like, look at, he's talking about how Bravo was so toxic and he was defending Garcelle and they love Garcelle and Sutton. And I was like, the three that I guess like really were fans of this guy, Patrick, were Robin Dixon, Sutton Strack, and Marlo Hampton. I was like, well, if those are the three that are vouching for you, I don't know if that's the most reliable. I don't know. It just feels thirsty, right? It feels like he's trying to get some extra subscribers, and good for him. Not going to knock his hustle, but I don't think that there was anything ground. They work long days. They work on reality TV. To me, it seemed like he thought that this was a great time with like the Leah McSweeney lawsuits and the Caroline Manzo, Brandy Glanville drama with the network after Ultimate Girls Trip. Like this just seems like a popular time to come out and talk about, Bravo being a toxic work environment. Not that interesting to me, to be honest with you, but he gave his exclusive to Page Six, and you know what? Good for him. If anybody wants to subscribe, go support him if you want to subscribe. And while you're at it, you can subscribe here on YouTube for more reality TV, pop culture, celebrity, all the dish. We're streaming live Monday through Friday mornings here on YouTube and available on all podcast platforms. So be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's get into the Russell brand of it all because I feel like there's so much to dive into there. But before we do, a quick message from this week's sponsors. All right, guys, the countdown is on before the new administration exposes the entire pandemic. Most realize a large sum of people's health was negatively impacted by global coercion. Whether severe side effects or experiencing long COVID, check out this natural solution formulated by Dr. Peter McCullough in collaboration with the Wellness Company. And they've just leveled up their original detox formula for $30 less. Introducing the 3-in-1 Ultimate Spike Detox, conveniently constellated into one capsule with 4 times more nattokinase, 500 milligrams of bromelain, and 500 milligrams of turmeric root extract. Nattokinase, an enzyme researched for its anti-clotting effects, may work to break down spike proteins. Combined with bromelain and curcumin, it provides a potent blend for detoxification and cellular support. Crafted with 100% natural ingredients, Ultimate Spike Detox is backed by research offering effective support for your cell's natural repair and recovery. Experience the only formula approved and used by Dr. McCullough, a top freedom fighting doctor who risked it all. Head to twc.health/nofilter and use code NOFILTER to get 15% off plus free shipping. Again, that's twc.health/nofilter and use code NOFILTER to get 15% off. Get back to that pre-COVID feeling. Look at that. Erica C says she's already taken the Ultimate Spike Detox. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all the love. And then a quick message from my pals at Pair Eyewear. When you refresh how you see things, the world can be a more vibrant place. Just in time for spring, Pair Eyewear has 3 new colorways for the most iconic acetate base frames. You can take a peek at their new Cozy Honey, Soft Lavender, and Moody Gray frames. And don't forget that you can soften or bold your look in a snap with their endless collection of top frames. Like these. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Magic top frames. Look at sunglasses, regular glasses, sunglasses, regular glasses. Base frames, just like the ones I'm wearing right now, start at just $60. And your FSA or HSA could also be used to cover prescription eyewear. Plus, you get 15% off when you use code NOFILTER at paireyewear.com. They have so many different options. They have a ton of collabs with Disney, Disney Princesses, Disney Mickey and Friends, the Met, Marvel, Star Wars, NBA, and NHL. They have premium collections, sun top collections, sparkle, classic colors, tons of options that you can choose from. Find your perfect shape from home with their virtual try-on. That's what I did to get these frames. I went on their website, tried them on, got to see how they looked, and then was able to place the order. So, and it's all done virtually online with your camera online. Super easy, super convenient. Base frames start at just $60 and top frames start at just $25. Free shipping on all US orders, free returns and exchanges within 30 days, no questions asked. You can earn points to score dollars off your next purchase with their loyalty program, and you can also save with pre-tax FSA and HSA dollars. Upgrade how you see the world and how the world sees you. Go to paireyewear.com and use code NOFILTER for 15% off your first pair. And you can support the show by mentioning No Filter with Zack Peter sent you in your post-checkout survey. That's Pair, P-A-I-R, Pair, paireyewear.com. Use code NOFILTER. All right, let's dive into Russell Brand. Ooh, wait. Okay, lots to get into there. So I watched his video this morning on his YouTube channel. I haven't seen the documentary yet. I've heard recaps of the documentary. I know that there were a lot of questions surrounding the documentary, and I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot more context and details we don't have. Danny Gossip Girl says that producer Patrick is the same one that worked on and helped ruin Vanderpump Rules, Southern Charm, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and more. There's been so much speculation about him being bad at his job for years. Well, then that checks out the fact that he made the pivot because he knew that, the writing was on the wall. And I think they're just using that as an excuse as to why they didn't keep. But like, also, if you're going to pivot it into adult content, you're going to do not safe for work content, then that's going to affect your employment opportunities. Sorry. Thank you, Danny. Yes, guys. Like, subscribe, do all the things. We're so close to 100K. We're at, what, 92.3? 92.3. Okay, so Russell Brand, I watched his video this morning, and I know his attorneys also come out and issued statements. So apparently there are fears that Russell Brand could also be charged in the US. He's currently facing charges in the UK, but so there's this US civil lawsuit that stemmed from the 2010 film Arthur, which I believe was one of his last big major movies. But so Russell Brand and Warner Brothers are named in this lawsuit. Jane Doe, we don't know who this is, she's choosing to stay anonymous for right now. It's a civil suit. It's not a criminal. It's not a criminal case as of right now. It's just a civil lawsuit. So Jane Doe is claiming that Russell Brand on the set of Arthur exposed himself to her and then followed her into a bathroom and allegedly assaulted her, all while there was a producer that was guarding the door. Very inflammatory, big allegations. Coming after Russell Brand, coming after Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers and Russell Brand have denied any wrongdoing, and Warner Brothers has even offered up hours of unseen footage. I think they said they have about 8 hours of footage that they're willing to turn over to, I mean, I would assume prove that there was no like indecent exposure from Russell Brand. Not really sure, but they're claiming that there was no wrongdoing on either of their ends. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where this Russell Brand case takes us. Separately, though, which was the news that came out last week, is that Russell Brand is being charged criminally. So US is a civil lawsuit. They're saying that they're afraid that that criminal charges could be filed in the US. As of right now, they're not. But in the UK, there have been criminal charges that were filed, and there is an upcoming hearing on May 2nd. So just in a few weeks. There, the claims are that Russell Brand, he's being charged with 5 counts of the R word. I know that's not a YouTube friendly word, the RAPE word. So he's being charged with 5 counts of the R word and 5 counts of assault essay, that type of essay. And so he's being charged of those are the collective charges, but individually it's 1 count of the R word, 1 count of indecent assault, 1 count of oral R word, and 2 counts of essay. So those are the 5 charges that are against him right now, and they're related to 4 separate women, and the incidents happened between 1999 and 2005. Now, he's denying any sort of non-consensual activity. He's claiming that he's always been, he's lived a very debaucherous life, lots of promiscuity, but he claims that every single encounter he had is consensual. For his US case, I know in an interview with the Sunday Times back in 2023, when this first started to come about, his accuser from the Arthur film, she said that I felt used and abused. Disgusting is the only word. I felt like I was being used, that I was just an object for his momentary titillation. Everyone usually turns a blind eye to bad behavior on set. If I had come forward and said something to, say, even a production assistant on set, what are they going to do? Are they going to fire Russell Brand, or are they going to fire me? That was the statement that was made back in 2023. We're still seeing how that case is going to play out. Russell Brand, like I said, has responded. He says that these things happened, or at least, sorry, outside of the US, in response to the UK charges. He's saying that these things happened before he was even famous, that people didn't really know him until like 2005. When did Russell Brand host the MTV Awards? I remember when he hosted the MTV Awards, and it was like, who the F is Russell Brand? Okay, so it looks like he hosted the VMAs, and that was in 2008 and 2009. I feel like that's when he really started to peak, and then he ultimately married Katy Perry. And he married Katy Perry in 2010, and they were married for 14 months, is what I believe. So 2008, 2009, 2010 is when him and Katy, I guess they got married in 2010, October 2010. But how long were Russell and Katy dating? So it looks like they were dating for about 2 years prior. They married, 2010, were finally divorced in 2012, but they dated for 2 years prior to that. So it looks like at the height of his fame is when, or I guess that was the height of his fame, was his relationship with Katy Perry. He doesn't seem to have had any other major relationship since then. But I mean, if the timing checks out, Arthur was filmed around this time, so I would imagine he was already with Katy Perry when these allegations came forth. Obviously, she's been notably quiet. I haven't heard her say anything. So I don't know if Warner Brothers is willing to turn over footage and they don't have any documentation of any assault or any HR complaints at the time. I'm very curious to see what evidence this woman has aside from her own personal testimony, which can be really challenging. But outside of the US case, when you go back to the earlier case, the 1999 to 2005 time frame, like you said, he didn't really become famous. He says until 2005 is when he started to come onto the radar. I would argue it wasn't until he started hosting the VMAs, because I remember the promotions for that, and they were very much like, who the hell is Russell Brand? Like, that's how they promoted. Russell Brand is hosting the VMAs, but who the hell is Russell Brand? And obviously, I think his relationship with Katy Perry put him in the forefront. But so his point is that these things happened before he was even famous, and that they happened, I believe, around the time that he was getting sober. He's now been sober for 22 years. I believe it was around 2003 when he decided to get sober. And since then, he claims that he was obviously very promiscuous, lots of drunken debauchery. He was very much free with his body sexually, but I think when it comes to these new accusers, I mean, the fact that we have specific charges, um, I don't know, we have to see what evidence there is. I know the documentary presented some text messages where he does seem to like be taking accountability for something and apologizing for something. I don't really know what happens from there. Um, I would imagine that there would have to be some other concrete evidence. But I mean, to see these charges in the UK now come forth, obviously, if somebody's done something wrong, they should be held accountable, and they should face their crimes head on. But I think with the Russell Brand situation, like 20 years is a very long time, right? Or I guess it's more than 20 years because if these stemmed back from 1999, then that's what? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26 years ago, these things happened. I mean, I would imagine, unless you have strong evidence from those times, then from like that era, I don't know how, a testimony 26 years later would necessarily be credible considering like memories can change. People can remember things very differently, especially if there was alcohol involved. I want to know what evidence they have against him in all four of these instances with these four different women. Can we see the court documents on Russell Brand? I don't have access to them. Again, that's a case out in the UK, so we don't have those court documents. I can see if I can try to pull them up somehow, but Chippo says Russell is a no for me. Erica says he's very well known for speaking out against a lot of powerful people and things. It makes you wonder. That too, I know a lot of people feel like, he could potentially be a target. Obviously, we know free speech from, what we're starting to hear is something that's being heavily influenced in the UK. Not really sure if there is some sort of agenda. Again, it does make you bring into question, like, if we just have testimony and testimony is the only evidence, but it's over 20 years, we're what, 26 years plus, then, like, how do we trust the recollection unless we have, a rape kit, unless we have testimony or we have, somebody else that has documentation of text messages. Again, we have the text messages of him apologizing for something. To my understanding, from what I've heard, he was apologizing, I guess, for not wearing a condom in one of his encounters, which I guess could be, can be considered assault in some instances. I don't know. I mean, especially if he was sober around this, like it's very murky, right? Considering substances and substance abuse is something that he very much struggled with. Can we trust his recollection of things? We'll have to see what comes forth from all of this. But I do know that some people believe that he is a target and can be a target. Statute of limitations, to my understanding, there isn't any in the UK when it comes to stuff like this. Um, Texting for a divorce is just so gross. Yeah, I agree with that too. I believe that's how he divorced Katie, was via text message. Christina says, someone said these charges popped up after he started talking. Oh, I think Candace or BJ. I mean, well, with Candace, all roads lead back to Israel. So I always take her content with a grain of salt too. Nicole says Russell is a big ick, but aren't there statute of limitations? I don't believe so in the UK. In the UK, where he was on MTV, he was always drunk and on drugs and was always heavy with women. Yeah, Ginger says, "Were there police reports? Because with Bill Cosby, there were police reports and nothing was done." So that's yes, and that's again what'll come into factor was, did any of these women report this? Were there any kits? Were there, was there correspondence with relatives, with anyone at that time that can verify that these things happened and this isn't just misremembering? Unfortunately, we had the case with Amber Heard and we had this case with Blake Lively that we're seeing that we can't trust all people that come forth with allegations. Unfortunately, we've seen people weaponize this against people, so we just have to at this point do our due diligence. You can call Russell to ask him for the documents. Sarah says, anyone know what the statute is in California? I'm not sure about the statute in California. I guess we can look. There's no statute of limitations in the UK. That is correct. Shelby says, but nothing was said when he was with Holly Weird, but now he found God and now all this. That's a really interesting point. You would think that the time that they would come out with allegations against him was when he was dating Katy Perry, because that's when he was, a celebrity. But it's interesting because if these allegations or rumors were going around at that time, was Hollywood protecting him? Again, the questioning of it now is very strange. Zach, I went to Big Brother's Little Brother, which is his big startup in the UK. He was unhinged, very lads mags attitude. What's lads mags? Witterbird. Sarah says, "This one is hard for me. I don't know how I feel about it. I want to see what the evidence says." That's kind of where I'm at. Because again, like, he does have a history and he does appear to have been a womanizer. He's claiming that all of his encounters have been fully consensual, but that's what, just going based off of his recollection. Comedian Faye says, comedian Catherine Ryan spoke out about him without naming him a while ago, and I saw her live in February, and she basically said it was him. Well, we also have, so, someone that I've become friendly with recently is Andy from Popcorn Talk, who's doing the documentary about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. He says that he has a friend that, has allegations against Russell Brand. I don't know. And I don't know if he's using this like, oh, because I'm speaking out against free speech, they're going to come after me. I don't know what I believe when it comes to the Russell Brand stuff. Again, it's ultimately going to come down to the evidence, because unfortunately, there have been people that have muddied the waters so much that this whole believe all women movement has unfortunately been made a mockery of by people like Amber Heard and by people like Blake Lively. So, and people like Jussie Smollett, right, that have abused their storytelling to use and work the legal system. So when we're lied to so many times, you know, April says it's not murky, that's assault. Sex without consent to no condom is assault. I mean, again, I don't know the details of the actual incident. I mean, and listen, that if that is considered assault, then I mean that's a very clear example, and he's admitted to that, and that's a very clear example of, but also how do you, like, I don't know, I feel like there's, how do you prove that you'd asked for a condom and they didn't, you like, I don't know. Like, that's where it also kind of gets messy, because then it becomes just a case of a he said, she said, which unfortunately gets really dicey. But, that is a very clear example of assault, not using a condom. Yes. In California, the statute of limitations is 10 years. Interesting. Really? I didn't know that. Faye says Catherine Ryan mentioned other female comedians complaining about SA and SH. She spoke out about it without naming him, but I saw her live in February and she confirmed that it was him. Brigitte says, I remember I was shocked when Katy Perry chose him. Yeah, he definitely seems like he's made a number of mistakes within his career for sure. Code 340.16, adult victims of abuse and assault can file a case within 10 years of an event or within 3 years since the discovery of any injury or illness resulting from the assaults. Got it. Is that only for adult victims? Why, I'm just curious as to why the language is specifically says adult victims. The angel rock within Lorelai says, plus when one is using mind altering substances, recollection is very muddled and not, quote, what happened upon recollection. I agree. And since he does have that past, how can we trust his memory over these other women? And that's where, again, I'm torn in the middle. It's like, can we trust his recollection of things? I don't know if we fully can. People just come out of the woodwork. And yeah, again, the timing of it is very suspicious. So, I mean, let's put a poll up on YouTube and let's see how you guys are feeling about it, because I'm torn. I don't know where I stand on it just yet, because I feel like I want to believe these victims if they're telling the truth, but unfortunately, we've just, like, the timing of it seems so suspect. I feel like there were so many other opportunities to come forth. Okay, we're gonna put out a poll. I believe Russell. I believe the women, and I don't know. Okay, I'm putting that in the live chat now, and we'll see where people ultimately land on it. I completely understand that Russell Brand had problems, but I find it more intriguing the timing. Yeah. The timing of RR and BB. Who's RR and BB diversion? The timing of RR and BB. Who are RR and BB? Lisa says, why is it that everyone finds God when in trouble? Well, I think, you can't blame somebody for finding God when, they're like when they want to make a change in their life. Listen, am I the biggest Bible thumper? No, I don't remember the last time I opened a Bible. I was raised Catholic and Christian. My mom's side of the family was very Catholic. I went to Catholic school. My dad's side of the family was very conservative Christian. So, I have no problem with people that love Jesus. I have no problem with people that believe in God. I believe in a higher power. I believe in the universe. I believe in God. I believe in, you know, all of these things. I don't know. I may become Baha'i soon after learning so much about it through Justin Baldoni, but in this case, I don't think we should punish Russell Brand for finding God if that's what helped him. And again, I saw Colonel Kurtz made some really good points about like, well, a person can change a lot in 20 years, right? So if these allegations are dating back to the early 2000s, that was a very long time ago. And if he's evolved and, you know, become a different, better person, then I think that, not that people shouldn't be held accountable for their bad behavior, but I think growth and maturity also should be applied here as well. Is this person still that type of predator? Or, are they hiding behind God and Jesus? Or are they still, or did they change their ways by finding, you know, a higher power that's helped them? Yeah, I agree with you, Annabelle. Finding God shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, your own personal Jesus, yeah. Um, La Madame Claus says, "Adore you, hope we didn't embarrass you with that cute teeth lawyer guy the other day." Oh, no, he loved it. Oh my god, you guys, he loved all the comments. Daniel Feruzin. I was actually just talking to him because I have this guy right now that owes me money. He represented me last year, and he is holding on to money that is mine that he is not authorized to hold on to, and I'm debating whether or not it's worth taking legal action. And so it's just been a whole thing. Last year was a total shit show. I'll just tell you that. Danielle says, I just ran into the guys that sold my house. I lived in with my dad before she sold it downstairs, and I went to get Uber Eats. What are the chances? Well, that was a fun fact, Danielle. Thank you for sharing. She said, sorry, random, very random. Using God and the establishment targeting him as a cover. Listen, and that's absolutely within the realm of possibility. I'm not trying to give Russell Brand any passes here. I don't I want to believe that if he found Jesus and God has helped him become a better person, that I want to believe in humanity, and if that's helped him, then I want to trust that he's a different person now as a result of that. The establishment targeting him as a cover, I'm not gonna lie, I can see that. I can see that argument being used as well of him saying, "Oh, look at I spoke out against the government, and so now the government's trying to punish me for it." Now the thing is, the government does do stuff like this. We have seen them use, you know, political warfare against people with the judicial system. So I think that it's within the realm of possibility. It's just too early for us to know anything specifically when it comes to Russell Brand. I don't think we've seen any strong evidence as of yet, but we're starting to hear more and more stories. So Lorelai says, I have no issue with people's belief system, but where my issue is when people try to cram it down my throat. I agree with you. I will respect where you stand. I will respect your positions on things as long as you respect mine. Fully in agreement. Annis Cooper says Jonathan Ross was equally involved in the BBC phone call scandal at the time, but has never apologized or faced any retribution. Still regular. Okay, who is Jonathan Ross and what is the BBC phone call scandal? Again, I'm not in the UK, so this is all news to me. Brigitte says even if he changed, the victims need to feel like they receive justice. I agree. I'm just saying that is something that should be factored in as well. Sobriety programs are mostly faith based. That is true. Sarah says, I'm in recovery and God helped me get sober. I think that's great. Listen, I have nothing against people that have found God. For some reason, finding God is an awakening. For a lot of people, it can be. He's manipulative. Russell Brand, I mean, it's possible. And also, here's the other side of it, right? The same way I said Blake Lively and Amber Heard have hurt the Me Too movement. That's not to say that the free speech movement can't be harmed as well. And somebody like Russell Brand can't be trying to protect himself by saying that this is some sort of government warfare against him. That's possible too, and that can absolutely hurt this free speech movement where people want more transparency, and ultimately it can end up backfiring. So we'll see. Brand has admitted that he's an addict. They get their fix any way possible. Don't know if he's been cured now that he's found Jesus, but he was very bad years ago. BBC stopped hiring women for his shows. Again, there are lots of allegations and lots of rumblings and stories about Brand that's also what makes this kind of suspicious. But then it makes me really question, well, why now? Like, what is it about the timing now? Is it now they just have enough people that are willing to come out against him? The timing of it is very suspect. PB says timing is suspect, so you have to consider that. If I'm not fully convinced he didn't do it, and many people find religion when they're on a bad path. Yeah, and religion helps them get off of the bad path and get onto a more straight path. Footage from Arthur will come out. Yeah, and Warner Brothers is saying that they're willing to release that. ADHD in the house. I'm listening and watching NFT. Love that. Love you too, Karen. Zach, you're always so open and respectful. I try to be. It's funny. I just did an interview today with Fox, and Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni came up in the conversation, and they asked me, they're like, "So is it fair to say that you're Team Baldoni?" And my response to that question is always, I'm I wouldn't say that I'm Team Blake or Team Baldoni. I'm Team the truth and wherever the truth seems to take us. And as of right now, it appears that Justin Baldoni has more evidence on his side and more context that colors in some of the details that Blake Lively has presented. So as of right now, he seems like the more believable party, especially considering Blake has already shot her credibility a number of times at this point. That's not to say that she doesn't have points that support her side, but I just think there's more that supports Justin's side of things and more that hurts Blake's credibility that makes me believe Justin Baldoni more than I believe Blake Lively. But that can all change at any point, you know? Elizabeth says, I love how MAGA makes this political. As soon as he became one of them, he was charged. Such weirdos. I I don't know what that means necessarily. And I'm also I don't know what side of the political fence you're on from that statement. Ginger says, if you already find him creepy, you're going to see everything he does is creepy. In my opinion, I agree. Um, Thrash says we have to take into account that they could be coming after him because he's conservative. That's definitely within the realm of possibility for sure. I'm 5 minutes behind. I take Russell Brand as a fake Jesus believer. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not denying that that's not within the realm of possibility. Sarah says, when can we watch your Fox interview? It should be dropping this week. I'll keep you guys posted when it's out. So be sure to follow me on Instagram for updates. Russell Brand and Jonathan prank call. Oh, Russell Brand and Jonathan prank called and broadcast a very beloved actor with lots of lewd sexual Jones about his granddaughter, TB. Oh my God. Okay. Well, that sounds kind of creepy, Ennis. How's Russell Brand's current New York case going? It's going. I know his attorneys just tried to get them to pause that case here in the US because he could be facing charges in the UK. And it doesn't seem like either the UK or the US is willing to fold. So it looks like he's going to be fighting both of these cases simultaneously. Everything is a conspiracy theory. I mean, listen, we're going down every rabbit hole we can. But one finds him creepy because what he does is creepy. That's a fair button. Sharon says, hit the like button. Yes, guys, please hit the like button. He actually interviewed Jimmy Salvi and adored him. Teresa says, sometimes people find God when they hit rock bottom. It's a good thing. Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that finding God is a bad thing. Russell Brand is good friends with Diddy too. See, the more we're learning about Russell Brand in his past, the more it's not really looking good for him. Pamela says, every single born again that I know has a horror past and they feel like they can start again afresh. Every one of them. Yeah. Lorelai says, I do have a suspicion that those who have a platform and were never censored over the last 5 years makes me wonder why they are not being censored, controlled opposition. I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak to that. So we'll have to wait and see. Sarah says, hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button, subscribe. We're getting so close to We're so close to hitting that 100K. We're at 92.3. So if you're watching this and you've been enjoying the show, then definitely subscribe, hit the bell button. That way you get notifications. You can become a member on YouTube. We do have a members only where we dive in even further on things and have very lively conversations. So definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Again, hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. Okay, any other thoughts, feelings, vibes, questions before we wrap? I feel like today was a bit of a slower news day. We should have more Baldoni and Blake news this week. I know that we have some responses that are due. We have Blake Lively's response that's due, Ryan Reynolds' response that's due, and then hopefully after this week, the judge will be able to make his decisions. Danielle says, I'm MAGA, which everyone knows, and pro God. One has nothing to do with the other, and this shouldn't be political. There you go. Thank you, Danielle. Teresa says, even if you found God, you have to answer for anything you've done. Yeah, I mean, I think the argument is they answer to God, not the not the judicial system. I don't know. I'm just trying to piggyback off of what you were saying. God can do a lot for people. Religion is easy to hide behind. True. Sarah says, do you follow RuPaul's Drag Race? I don't follow RuPaul's Drag Race. Sorry. Erica says, when is the next Pop Report out? The Pop Report drops Wednesdays and Fridays. So new episodes of the Pop Report are every Wednesday and Friday. So subscribe. We'll have a new episode out for you tomorrow. We're taping it later this afternoon. Zach, do you know if the two lawyers are doing a live today? I don't. You would have to check their YouTube channel, but definitely support them. I know they just hit 25,000 on YouTube. So get it. Yay, Karen said she just became a member again. I love it. What about Prince Harry's court case? Any news? I don't know what the update is on his court case, but I do know Meghan Markle launched her podcast. How exciting. She had Whitney, the founder of Bumble, on, and I was like, oh, wow, this really is a 2016 throwback. Because like Whitney Wolf was doing all these interviews when like the Bumble was at its height and they were doing like all the Bumble pop-up houses and all of that, which was very much part of the girl boss movement. So Meghan Markle and her Confessions of a Female Founder, good for you. She's out there enlightening all the female founders because I think they want to turn to her because, you know, anyone building a business looks to Meghan Markle. I know she was just in all of this controversy with her As Ever brand because I guess they oversold products, and so now they're having to issue refunds, and now they're having to, you know, apologize and add people to like a special list to let them know that they'll be the first to get the next limited edition drop of goodies. I I don't. Does anybody care to listen to our podcast? Is anybody going to listen to it? I guess is the question. Let's see where we landed on the Russell Brand stuff. So it looks like 59% of people said, I don't know. 59% of people said, I don't know. 22% of people said that they believe the women, and only 20% of people say that they believe Russell Brand. Wow. So it's not looking good for Russell Brand at all. Yikes. Yowzas. Are you having a Friday get together with other content creators? Yes, another Friday town hall. Yeah, who do you want to see on the town halls? Let me know. Drop in the comments below who you want to see on the next No Filter town hall. Confessions of a Fraudster. Yeah. Do I have to listen to our podcast? No, I'm just asking if you would. I want to know who would listen to the podcast. Sorry, Zach, I can't stand Megan. Yeah, I don't think most people can. Didn't Sherry out of yeah, she had her Cheryl, she had her Archetypes podcast with Spotify, and then that didn't really land or go anywhere or anything. So yeah. Have you seen the photos with Russell Brand and Rabbi Shmuley? Shmuley is a horrible person, absolutely evil. I don't know much about Rabbi Shmuley. I know Candace Owens is not a fan of his, but I haven't looked into him all that much, to be honest with you. I'm not that familiar with him, so I can't really comment on him. Nancy says they didn't oversell anything. They didn't have product. They just confirmed sales so that some people could say that they bought stuff, making it look real, but there was no product for sure. I know that's a conspiracy theory, but we don't have any proof of that. I know people love to hate on Meghan, and so I think that I don't know how you oversell, or at least that much, at least. Like, I don't know, like the way that the interfaces work now with selling product, like you can set the number of products that you have. I don't know how she oversold this much product. To me, that's super suspicious. I understand how, like, you can no, actually, I don't understand. Like, she has enough money and she has enough people working for her that, like, these mistakes shouldn't be happening. I know there's, like, the Kylie Jenner model where you have a very small amount of quantity that you put up on the website. That way it's a guaranteed sellout. But for them to oversell, like, that's just kinda crazy. And, like, what interface are they using that I don't call Judge Judy. Oh, Laura with the yes, court of random opinion. I do need to have Lauren on. Absolutely. That's a good one. Thank you for recommending her. Cassidy O'Connell. Who's Cassidy O'Connell? I don't think I'm familiar with her. Melanie Keenan Ellsrich. Love Melanie King. Love Ellsrich. I added Ellsrich, Candace, Andy from Popcorn Planet, Daily Dose of Donna, and Dave Neal. Well, last time I had Donna and Dave, things got a little spicy. And that you only saw the front-facing part of it. But speaking of, Donna and Dave were both sweet enough to post and share about the Justice for Justin campaign that we're doing right now. Justice for Justin. So you guys only have until this Friday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We have 3 days left. 3 to 4 days left because Friday is the last day to get your shirts. We have Justice for Justin, but then as you see Donna Bowling modeling here, we also have Mommy Sleuth shirts, which we have here. You guys have been taking photos. Dave wore his Daddy Sleuth shirt on his show this week. So thank you, Dave Neal. Thank you, Donna Bowling. Look at that Daddy Sleuth. Get your Daddy Sleuth shirt. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get your Mommy Sleuth shirt. Get your Justice for Justin shirt. Here's the Court of Random Opinion. So yeah, guys, now until this Friday, April 11th, you have until April 11th before these are gone for good. It's a limited edition drop, and I'm donating 50% of my proceeds from all merch sales. So it doesn't just have to be the Justice for Justin, Mommy Sleuth, or Daddy Sleuth shirts. You can also, I love that you guys are all posting about it. Please continue to post and tag me so that I can look at this. She tagged it. Serpent Shannon tagged it. Hashtag Zack Pack. Hashtag Mommy Sleep. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, you can go to nofiltermerch.com to place your order, support the No More organization. Let's get it, get it, get it. Thank you guys for supporting and showing love. Val says, Zack, are you going to take one for the team? We'll be with you as you discuss her podcast. I don't think I can take one for the team. I just don't have any interest in it. I would have purchased some items from her ever collection. That way I can actually do like a taste test. But yeah, that actually happens all the time. We're talking about milliseconds between orders where servers have to be kept up with product schemas. Possibly. Would love to see you back with Ask Two Lawyers. Oh, yeah, maybe I'll have them back on soon to discuss the latest in Blake and Baldoni, since, like I said, we're supposed to have more court filings this week. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were supposed to have, I believe their responses are due. I don't remember which day specifically. I think Wednesday and Friday. Rashin says, when are you going to be on Billy Bush? Okay, I was supposed to be on Billy Bush yesterday, and then I think I got bumped for Tucker Carlson, which I'm not mad about. Listen, you can bump me for Tucker Carlson. I'm in no comparison for a sit down with Tucker. So I believe Tucker ended up filling the spot that I was originally supposed to be on, but I'm hoping we can get it scheduled back on the books at some point and I can come in studio and tape with Billy and do all that since we're both in LA. But DM Billy and tell them, hey, we want Zack back on the show. I would love to come back on anytime. Have Chef Stew on. Oh, yes. I love having Chef Stew on. Look how cute you look, Zack. Thank you. I wanted to make sure I looked cute for Fox today. Anyone but Dave. I love Dave. Danielle says, Zack, can you let us know when you are doing members only this week? Probably Thursday or Friday. Crystal Ball would be interesting. Okay, I'll consider. Yeah, I'm going to consider all the names you guys are throwing my way. Love the shirts. Thank you, Mallory. Interview Shersteed. I know, so I can know why she's in Spain. Ooh, I should hit her up too. I don't think I've had her on the show before. Okay, drop them in the comment below. That way, they're not in the, because I can't always look back at the live chat. But if you leave a comment below, letting me know who you want to see on our content creator town halls, then definitely send it. Danielle says she just got her Justice for Justin shirt. She's going to send a pic. Yay, Zack, I would love to see you interview Fumi. Okay, great job on the t-shirts. I got mine yesterday, Justice for Justin and Mommy. Ooh, I love it. Sarah brought both. what the Melanin King is in the live chat. Oh, is she in the live chat? Hey, Melanie. Hey, girl. Buying my Zack Pack sweatshirt tomorrow. Yay, payday. Get it, guys. Last chance to get in your orders so we can send a nice check to the No More Foundation. I know everybody wants coconut shirts. Oh, have Link Lauren on. I would love to. I've actually chatted with Link and we were trying to work on scheduling. Zack loved you with Meghan McCain. I watch her every Monday and Wednesday. Yay. I love Meghan. We actually text pretty often. Okay. Yes, Link Lauren has a new podcast. Yes, DM Link and let him know we need to set a date. Perez Hilton. I'm not against Perez. That could actually be really fun. I see a few of you guys naming Perez. Yes, coconut tree tank tops. Ooh, just in time for summer. That may be kind of fun. Well, get ready. Like I said, there's a special announcement coming on in 2 weeks. OMG. April 22nd. Special announcement, guys. Get ready. Okay. That's all I got for you. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. Give me a follow at Just Plain Zack. Follow the podcast at No Filter Zack and hit the subscribe button, guys. And we're trying to get to 100K. Let's do it. Let's see if we can hit 100K by April 22nd, which is No Filter's 10-year anniversary. Very special announcement. Let's see if we can hit 100K on YouTube and 200K on Instagram. So at No Filter with Zack, we're at 198,000. So we're 2,000 away from breaking 200,000 on Instagram and less than 8,000 away from breaking 100K on YouTube. So subscribe, follow, do all the things. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Ciao for now. Bye. Oh, actually, I did invite Nick Vial on the podcast. He declined. I saw that Mallory just said, bring on Nick Vial. I actually did invite him to do a collab. I even said we don't have to do it on No Filter or the Vial Files. We can do it on like Juicy Scoop where it's neutral territory. And he declined. So there you go. All right. Ciao for now, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.